Geet, I'm sorry, then. And I am sorry too, buddy.
I'm happy to support a great cause, Dmachine, alright?
Alright, thank you, buddy. That's
you don't
what
have
I
to
wanted
apologize
to
for anything, okay?
Yeah, we're going to go right into this best of 3. This is the very first round. And let's see what the very first map of this best of 3 is going to be. Nagrand Arena. Oh, baby, spam those Nagrand Arenas. Alright, man. Oops. I got this. We're good. I'm excited for this matchup, man. Nessper, Pinkrangerz, and Pugmag, which have won this tournament many, many times, going up against one of the best RMDs, Genericz, Majidin, and Dannycarry. Very, very excited for this.
Yeah, looking at last patch, I think it gives a slight advantage to the RLD.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think they're a little bit favored in dampening, but yeah, I'm not an expert on this matchup. Only played it a few times. Oh, okay.
I'm terrible. I just suck at everything. Man. How am I even a commentator? Like, wow.
All right.
Okay, so it looks like oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Majidin actually blowing his offensive trinket at Icy Veins right away, trying to get pressure out onto Pugmag. It looks like I'm not exactly sure who they're going on, not making too much use of those offensive cooldowns. Yeah, and they're actually swapping on a Pinkrangerz, like I thought. Okay, here it is. Kidney on a Pinkrangerz. He is forced to use that bark skin. He does have his trinket still available, so he's going to be fine for now. And Dannycarry actually getting swapped to as well. Another Druid swap. Dannycarry having to use that bark skin. He still has his trinket available to him. So both Druids will be fine for now, but the next swaps could be very scary because neither of them have bark skin.
Looks like they try to get a ring onto Nessper there. I mean, they overlapped it with the ring and the cyclone, which can be pretty questionable, but the double howl actually coming out from Pugmag. A trinket is actually going to have to come out from Majidin as well, trying to get some polymorphs out. Is he going to be able to land it? It looks like he's going to be able to land it in a Pugmag. Is it going to be dispelled by Pinkrangerz? It is going to be. Dannycarry is going to be put into that full kidney. He's not in full bear form here, so it could be looking at quite a bit of damage, but it does not look like it. He's able to get that bash off and run away. Pinkrangerz going to be polymorphed up. Pugmag is actually going to be the target here, sitting at 50%. Are they going to be able to get another polymorph onto Pinkrangerz? Looks like the deep is actually going to come out. Pugmag is going to have to... He's in a really bad spot. The growth's going to come out 25%. The heals are going to have to come out. That was really close. He's going to be able to port and LOS.
Yeah, and as I said, a Warlock's never died. Pugmag actually under a tremendous amount of pressure. He's still doing a good job of keeping up those dots on the opposing team. But yeah, they were able to force his heals, and I guess the next swap on him could be scary, but Pinkrangerz is still sitting with his trinket. So, I mean, as much damage is coming out, he's into a full kidney right now, taking a good amount of damage. Pinkrangerz caught into that deep freeze. He does trinket that immediately, try to get some hots on a Pugmag, and he is able to top him. So that is heart and trinket coming out of Pinkrangerz there. Quite a bit of cooldowns being forced from this RLD by this RMD.
Yeah, definitely a lot. I mean, I did see the NS have to come out as well with that Heart of the Wild, which was able to bring Pugmag up really high. The full kidney is going to land onto Pugmag. Are they going to be able to get some CC or even damage, enough damage to come out onto Pugmag? He still has his trinket, or he still has his pet, actually. I'm not sure exactly if he's running Soul Link here. Majidin, it looks like he's going to be the target here. He's sitting at 22k mana, but I don't think mana is going to have to be a problem. He's trying to spam some polys, but he's actually going to get locked out on a double howl coming out from Pugmag here onto Dannycarry. Genericz. It looks like Genericz is actually going to be the target here. He's going to get a kidney onto them, but luckily enough, Genericz was able to feint before that kidney. Pugmag is going to pop that Dark Soul. They're trying to get as many dots out as possible, trying to do as much damage as possible. It looks like they're getting ready to set up for a burst here. Nessper is going to be cycloned up. Pinkrangerz is going to put that dark that bark skin onto himself. Genericz is going to be put into that DR kidney. It looks like he's going to continue to be the target here. Majidin trying to spam some Frostbolts out. He's able to get some out. Lockbolt actually is going to get the lockout onto the Frostbolt there, which is kind of questionable. He might be able to get some polymorphs out, not having to worry about an interrupt, but I mean, we still have 2 to 3 interrupts, I think, on this RLDream Team.
Yeah, Pinkrangerz could be in a lot of trouble. You know, he doesn't have his trinket and Barskin available, and here it is. He actually gets caught in caster and a smoke bomb as well as a kidney. He's caught into that DR cheap shot, and he could just die. Triple DR deep freeze into a Garrote, 13%, 12%. Hellstone does come out. Displacer comes out. Rejuve, and he has been able to top himself up. That was very, very scary for Pinkrangerz. That was a good swap. Fortunately, they didn't get quite enough damage out, and he was able to live. Now they are swapping onto Nessper, and Pinkrangerz caught into that full sheep. Very well done by the RMD, making sure no one is safe. And the wall does come out of a Nessper. Full blind onto Pinkrangerz. Nessper could actually die, even though he has wall and a few hots. Actually, he'll be fine. Pinkrangerz trinketed.
Yeah, the
defensive phone coming on to Nessper, stopping those heals from Pinkrangerz.
Which is a little bit questionable at the same time, because Pinkrangerz was in full kidneys there. I mean, so they had Pinkrangerz and Nessper in full CC, and Nessper obviously was immune to some of the damage because of the Cyclone. Pugman getting cycloned up now, just trying to stop some of the damage coming out. Dannycarry is actually doing a really, really good job in dispelling a lot of those dots. Pinkrangerz is going to be put into that full ring there, the full kidney onto Nessper. Nessper could possibly just go down here. The cloak is going to have to come out from Nessper, and Major is not going to be able to do as much damage as he'd like with that cloak, but the cloak is going to fade. Dark Soul coming out of Pugman, trying to get as many dots out as fast as possible. The double howl landing onto Generic and Majidin here. Dannycarry is going to be the target, but the Barkskin is going to come out. It looks like he's going to be safe for now. Dark Soul is going to fade away from Pugman here, so trying to use the end of that Dark Soul to be able to get as much damage as possible. Dannycarry is going to be the target. He's just kind of getting trained back here behind LOS, but it doesn't look like enough damage is going to be coming out from Nessper. Deep is actually going to land on the Nessper. Pinkrangerz Barkskin is going to fade very soon here. Polymorph on the Nessper, trying to CC that red buff once again, because it's very important, as especially versing an RLD, to try to stop that red buff from happening on the Nessper.
And Dannycarry caught into a full kidney, taking some damage. He still has a strength available, not going to use that. He should. He feels like he's going to be fine. It looks like this RMD, although taking a little bit of pressure now, they're going to look to make a big swap on a Pinkrangerz who has no skin or trinket available for like another 25 seconds, so they might be able to make something happen on him. But for now, it looks like Pugman is the target of choice. Bash comes out onto Nessper, and here it is. Here's a swap on a Pinkranger. Orb comes out. A ton of damage coming out by this RMD on a Pinkrangerz. Beautiful peels by the RLD. Fear on a Genericz into a cheap shot, and it looks like Pinkrangerz will be fine for now, using his lay on hands to top himself.
Yeah, that was really scary, but that was definitely really good peels again coming up from this RLD here. Just saw Genericz sit so much CC as Pinkrangerz was getting so low. The deep sheep landing onto Pinkrangerz. Dannycarry is going to be put in that full kidney. Fortunately enough, he was able to bear farm before that kidney. Pugman in a full Garrote, could he possibly go down here? The polymorph is being landed onto Pinkrangerz successfully. He is going to be able to pour it out of there, and the heals are going to come out, but Genericz is actually going to be able to get right back on him with that Shadow Step. Dannycarry is starting to take a little bit of damage. The full bash is going to land onto Genericz, starting to peel some of that damage from Pugman. The Iron Bark is going to fade very soon, but I don't think they're in a really scary position. Dannycarry is going to have to be forced to Iron Bark as well. Dark Soul is going to be fading pretty soon from Pugman. Hopefully he can use the end of that to be able to get as much damage as possible. Nessper going to be cycloned up there. Double Howl. It's a little DR on Genericz, which is okay. Dannycarry is going to be putting that full kidney. Bark skinning himself. He is not in bear farm, unfortunately, so he is taking the max amount of damage here. Aside from that Bark skin, Pugman is going to be full kidney. Pinkrangerz is going to be ringed up there. Full ring going to land on a Pugman as well. I think he just walked to it knowing that he is going to be the target, so it's not really going to matter anyways. Dannycarry's at 40%. He is going to be able to get an NS off, but he's still taking a lot of damage. So double howl landing on a Major and a Genericz. This could be trouble for Dannycarry here. The full kidney is going to land, but he is going to trinket that into a Garrote. Could he possibly go down here? He's at 18%. The DR Garrote landing up again as well. Are they going to be able to finish it off? 4%, and he is just going to go down. That is going to be a win for RLDream Team.
Yeah, and Nessper just flying down from the heavens with his ninja space kick, taking out Dannycarry.
Ninja space kick, I like that.
Yeah.
Descending from the heavens.
Yeah, Dannycarry had his he wasn't bear form and he had his trinket available, but he just got a little bit too low. I mean, he was sitting in bear form for that red buff killing spree, but he just took too much damage rotting down from that Warlock. And I mean, even though he's in bear form, he's still going to take a good amount of damage. He wasn't able to ever like really hot himself. He wasn't able to actually heal himself, unfortunately. But that was well done by both teams. There's some good swaps.
Yeah, absolutely. That was pretty incredible that Pinkrangerz survived there. Out of like, they even used like the deep freeze just to prevent like the healing from coming out and stuff like that. And that was an insane swap, but it just wasn't enough to land the kill. But at the same time, the peels coming out from Pugman were so good. I don't know. That's interesting. So the next matchup is actually Genericz is requesting Tolvaron Arena, which we were at 16% dampening that game, so it was actually pretty hard for them to keep up at the end, but
yeah.
Yeah.
One thing you'll notice about this matchup is Pinkrangerz, he's either in bear form or he's sitting on Pugman's port. So whenever he is in trouble, you know, Pugman is able to always port back, howl the rogue, fear the rogue. So they have to make sure they get good cross CC on Pugman when they're going to be doing those Druid swaps, or he's just going to be way too disruptive with those fears.
Yeah, for real. I love that synergy that they have between them. But this is going to be Tolvaron Arena. I'll see you guys in the game in just a hot minute. Okay, we're in it, man. So this is Tolvaron Arena. This is actually the RMD's choice. So I would honestly, my opinion, I feel like this would be a better map for someone who's trying to, say, bring the game to a later game. But I play a Rep Paladin, so that's my point of view, you know. Like, it's a long-ass way to run, because I have no gap closers, you know. But what do you guys think about this?
I don't know. I don't feel like it favors either team. They might be trying to, like, I mean, when they go on Dannycarry, they might be trying to pull Nessper far away from the Druid, so they can actually do like a hard swap onto him. But looks like they are going to open up on the Pugman. Nessper are going to go ahead and open up on the Dannycarry right away, getting sheeped on that. Beautiful job by Majorden into that bash. And it looks like both teams doing an excellent job of peeling, but Dannycarry caught into that kitty and is going to be forced to skin. Demon Soul out by Pugman, putting out as much damage as humanly possible, and Nessper caught in that full root into full clone. Dannycarry should be fine for now.
Yeah, he's just trying to spam out some clones onto Nessper, which is good. Once again, it's really good to CC that red buff. It looks like Nesper is gonna cloak offensively. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think Dannycarry had any more cyclones to land onto him, so he's just gonna pop that excuse me. He's going to pop that Cloak of Shadows there. Majorden is going to be taking quite a bit of damage. Dannycarry is going to be putting in that full kidney. A little bit of a questionable swap here. I mean, Majorden was already taking quite a bit of damage, but it looks like Dannycarry is taking quite a bit of damage. And kind of like a weird up and down from health there.
And Nessper actually forced to trinket and wall. I mean, when he put that kidney on a Dannycarry, Genericz came back and they bombed kidding him, and he is forced to trinket, so that's what I'm talking about, making Nessper overextend to do swaps on him. But Dannycarry caught into that short kidney. Barskin does come out. He should be okay for now, able to get away from Nessper and top himself up. But yeah, Nessper needs to be careful about overextending on a Dannycarry, because one Shadow Step kidney onto him could be death with some CC on Pinkrangerz without that trinket available.
Yeah, Pugman, again, just doing the role of the lock, trying to get as much damage as possible. As an affliction lock, Nessper is going to be putting that full kidney, and once again, like you said, he is actually going to be caught out of LOS right there and going to be spam stunned, but it looks like he's going to be able to get away using that Cloak of Shadows. Pinkrangerz going to be cycloned up. Nessper is still in a bit of trouble, but it looks like Genericz is actually going to run away from that and try to get back onto Pugman, but the Howl is going to land onto Genericz there, and Majorden. The whole team is just kind of just getting pretty low. Hopefully Dannycarry is going to be able to bring it back up and start dispelling more of those dots. Dannycarry being put into a full kidney here. I don't think RLDream Team has much damage to come out of, so I don't think he is as scared as he would be if they did have a lot of damage. Majorden is going to be trying to get some of those polymorphs out. Going to be able to land one onto Pinkrangerz. Pugman going to be cycling up. This could be trouble for Nessper. Deep is going to land on Pinkrangerz outside of that trinket there. Are they going to follow anything up? The bash. Anything else? It doesn't look like it. Nessper is going to have to evasion and pop his defensive cooldowns. The Iron Bark, again, is going to be forced for Pinkrangerz, and Nessper is going to be okay for now. Dannycarry taking quite a bit of damage. Just going to try to run around that pillar and displace her out of there to be able to top his team back up. Genericz is going to be put into that full cheap shot. The Iron Bark is going to have to come out. He is going to be spamming that feint to reduce some of the damage. Pinkrangerz is going to be put into that full blind. Nessper is in a full kidney here. This could be trouble for Nessper. Pinkrangerz is going to choose to have, or is going to be forced to have to sit that blind. He does not have his trinket out. Genericz taking 50%. Both rogues are just kind of dying here. Who is going to be able to get a really nice swap?
Yeah, and Dannycarry playing very, very passive, make sure he's keeping himself hotted, out of line of sight. He doesn't have his Barskin up available yet, so he doesn't want to be caught into a full kidney at low HP. Excellent job by him. Nessper caught into that full kidney. Is there going to be any cross you see on a Pinkrangerz? It doesn't look like it. He should be fine for now. And there comes a full kidney onto Dannycarry. Shadow Step coming out of Nessper. He is still being peeled, though, by Genericz. So Dannycarry not looking that scared. He doesn't, I mean, didn't have to pop his Barskin or anything. So beautifully done by the RMD protecting their Druid. And it looks like a swap is coming out onto Pinkrangerz. He has gotten to that kidney. Barskin coming out by him. And it's just all about forcing these Druids to cool down and eventually like wearing them down and getting a kill on them. So these Druids have to play very passive, make sure they keep themselves hotted when they don't have Barskin available.
Definitely. Dannycarry going to be put into that full kitty there. The Bark's going to coming out. He's just a little scared there. Nessper is going to be corroded up here. Pinkrangerz is going to just kind of be chilling out, spamming out some of those hots. Majidin taking quite a bit of damage. It looks like everybody's starting to get ready to rot, and this is not looking good. We're already getting ready to start getting into dampening here within the next minute. Majidin is trying to spam some Frostbolts out, just trying to cast on his targets here, not having much burst, trying to set it up. This RMD really does have really good setup and really good burst. And it looks like this is a burst that they're looking for. A double Howl coming out, just kind of ruining that burst. Pugman is going to be popping the Dark Soul. Pinkrangerz is going to get deeped up. Ironbark on Nessper. Who are they going to choose here? Everybody's just kind of rotting away. Pugman doing a really good job in getting a lot of the dots out. Dannycarry is trying to do his best to be able to dispel those dots since they do so much damage. But it looks like he's going to successfully be able to do that and top his team back up. They're not in as scary of a position anymore. Pugman is going to be put into that full kitty. He is going to have to be forced to trinket because that is going to be the bomb. Pugman's still taking quite a bit of damage. The Grow coming out, the cheap shot coming out.
Dannycarry actually in a lot of trouble now, 50%. Sorry to interrupt you. Barskin does come out. He could be in a ton of Haunt's coming out. Sorry to not speak English there. He does blink behind the pillar and is able to get some hots up on himself, and he should be okay for now. But that was a really swap on a Danny. Yeah. And he doesn't have a trinket or he actually had Ironbark himself as well, so he really has nothing except NS for the next swap onto him. Could be major trouble, but at the same time, Pugman taking a lot of damage. Pinkranger caught into that full deep ring. He is fully hotted. Maybe the heals will come out by him. I'm sure he can just port to safety as well. Warlocks aren't not really known for dying. And Killing Spree comes out of Genericz onto Pugman, and as I say that, the Warlock dies. So I've been wrong before. I really thought the Warlock would be safe. I guess he didn't have his port available.
Yeah, wow, Killing Spree coming out, and so that we're in 4% dampening here, so it's going to be 1-1 RLDream Team going up against Generic's RMD, DBBDBK. And it's a series, boys. It's a good series at that. I'm really excited to see who's going to be advancing. This is a really hard matchup for both of these teams to be facing in the first round of this arena. But, whoo!
Yeah, don't worry, Vandy. You don't have to apologize. I know you're Canadian, and you apologize a lot.
I just want to interrupt you, man.
It's okay, because I mean, maybe you see something that is amazing that I don't see. You know, we both of us can't see everything at one time, so don't apologize unless you I don't know, unless you do something really mean. But then I don't expect an apology.
Just don't even apologize then, man.
Yeah, just don't even bother, Van.
I won't even bother from now on.
Anyways, sorry. Yeah.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
So real quick before we go jump into this last game of this best of 3 hype, we did get a donation, a $20 donation at that, from Vash Star Win 1. He said, "Cool seeing my little bro Glink play. WoW has come a long way." So thank you for that donation, man. I appreciate the support, and we are $119 towards our goal. And also, we do have 71 subscribers at this point, which is fantastic, being our second tournament with the sub button. So thank you so much, everybody, for those subscribers. I see you. I see my GCD family out there, but we're going to go into it, and it's going to be in the Grand Arena. Oh, baby. I love it when it's the Grand Arena, man.
I could tell.
Okay.
Is that your favorite map?
You know, I think about it.
Pretty obvious.
So this is the Grand Arena. You guys caught me scratching my head. That was weird. I wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, if someone asked in chat, you guys need a dampening meter, there actually is a percentage dampening meter at the top of the screen here by the time clock, and you'll see like what percentage of dampening it's going to be at when dampening begins. So just keep an eye out for that up here. That last game we did reach about 5%, 6% dampening, so not too deep into dampening, to be honest.
Yeah, I really thought the games would go longer than that, like I initially said, but you know, I've been wrong before about a lot of things, so we'll see.
I mean, but all of your guesses have been educated, so we'll leave it at that. This is a brand new game, you know, like these small changes, or even that big DPS change. But anyway, I'll let you guys commentate. Full sap onto Dannycarry already.
Yeah, and they are opening up on the Pugman right away. Barstian or Ironbark does come out on the Pugman from Pinkrangerz, and Pinkrangerz actually did get sapped. I'm not sure if that was out of a blind or he just accidentally let himself get out of combat, but well done by Genericz. And it looks like the RLD is opening up on a Dannycarry. Kenny comes out onto him, but he doesn't have to use anything. He doesn't have to use Ironbark, Barkskin, Trinket. He is sitting pretty for now. Blind and Sheep on Pinkrangerz. Pugman still just taking the D.
Take D, man. Pinkrangerz is not going to have to be forced to use that Trinket. He feels like he's really safe, but Pugman starting to take quite a bit of damage here, sitting at 20%. Are they going to be able to get the kill? The NS and both of the lock kills are going to come out. Double Howl landing onto Majidin and Genericz, getting really good double howls from Pugman here. Dark Soul coming out, trying to get as many dots out as possible, trying to do as much damage as possible, trying to get Dannycarry to kind of freak out a little bit and to try to you know, have to dispel so many dots. Majidin trying to get some polymorphs out there. I don't think he's going to be able to land when Nessper is going to be cycloned up. It's going to be DR. Pugman is going to be put into that full kidney. Pinkrangerz is going to be deeped up here. Dannycarry as well going to be put in that full kidney. Dannycarry is starting to take a little bit of the bad end of the stick here. Majidin trying to get some polymorphs out, but he's going to be locked out of that. Another double howl coming out from Pugman here onto Majidin and Genericz. Dannycarry is going to be able to get Majidin out of that one. Nessper is going to pop that evasion there. Not exactly sure why. I think he's trying to prevent a bash coming out from Dannycarry. Nessper is going to be polyed up here. And so as a really good peels onto Nessper, trying to CC that red buff. I think there was a team called Don't CC My Red Buff in the previous tournaments we've had, but Genericz looks like it is starting to take a little bit of damage here. Pugman is going to be put into that full kidney. Nessper going to be cycloned up there as well. Pinkrangerz is going to be put into that ring there. Pugman could possibly go down if they get enough damage out onto him. Pugman's going to walk into that ring again, knowing that he's going to be the target, so it's not even going to matter.
And Pinkrangerz actually still doesn't have a Trinket available. They were able to force quite a bit there with that red buff killing spree onto Pugman. He's still just taking a ton of damage, more than I'd expect, onto this Warlock. And at this point, I mean, Dannycarry is still sitting really safe. He is the main target, but he literally has all his cooldowns available. So excellent job by this RMD, keeping this RLD very defensive. Cross-CCing beautifully. Pinkrangerz into that deep, Nessper into the bash, into the clone, Pinkrangerz into blind, and Pugman still just forced to be playing in these 1v3 situations where his entire team is CC'd and he's just getting obliterated by this RMD.
Yeah, the full kidney came out onto Pugman there, but it looks like he is just going to Trinket that, not wanting to sit it. Genericz is going to have to have that Ironbark land onto him. Genericz is kind of in a little scary position here. I mean, Pugman has dots on everybody, but Pugman is actually going to be locked out there. It looks like he's actually going to be put into the full kidney. He's going to be the target here. Are they going to get enough damage out? I do not think so. Genericz is actually going to vanish and continue to go ham on Pugman here. The howl is actually going to land onto Genericz, which is going to be an unfortunate howl. I mean, Genericz was putting quite a bit of damage onto Pugman, but Pugman didn't want to risk it. You know, he just had to get that howl out. Majidin trying to get some polymorphs out. It looks like it's going to be land onto Nessper. Really good cross CC coming from Genericz and Majidin. I mean, he saw that Nessper was in that cheap shot, so he knew he had the time to get a polymorph out onto Nessper. So that's really good communication on this DBBDBK or whatever they're called. Dannycarry is going to have to force that Barkskin there, sitting at 62% health, in a little bit of a scary position, but Pugman's going to be kidneyed up there. He's taking quite a bit of damage, actually, surprisingly. The killing spree coming out from Genericz, and so is the adrenaline rush. Nessper is going to be bashed up. The whole team is just CC'd here. Ironbark on Pugman there, trying to reduce some of the damage. Pinkrangerz is going to be put into that full cyclone, but I don't think this team of RMD has enough damage to be able to follow up a kill. Yeah,
Pugman's still sitting pretty alright. You know, he still has his heals available to him, and what thing I'd look out for now is Dannycarry actually getting swapped onto really hard. You know, he has no Barkskin, he still has no Trinket available, but it looks like the cross CC is coming out onto Pinkrangerz and Nessper, and Pinkrangerz is actually caught into that full deep sheep. Pugman taking a lot of damage. This could be the heals from him, but he decides to pop his Dark Soul and actually go offensive, spamming out those dots, trying to get as much damage out as possible. Dannycarry should be okay for now. He still has his Barkskin available, it just came up, but Pugman taking so much damage while Pinkrangerz is forced into that blind sap. And it doesn't look like they're going to have too much more CC for Pinkrangerz, and Pugman should be just fine for now. But Genericz caught into that kidney, Ironbark, put on him by Dannycarry, and it looks like he'll be just fine for now.
Yeah, Nessper is going to be deeped up. I don't think Poly's going to be able to come out of that. Actually, Cyclone coming out is going to force the trinket from Nessper. He just doesn't want to sit that. I feel like as a combat rogue, it could be really easy to just have so much, pressing so many buttons on one target. You know, you just kind of get excited and want to trinket some of the CC. But Nessper is actually going to be going on Genericz here. The killing spree is going to come out. Polymorph landing onto Nessper. He's going to be dispelled, but it's going to follow it up with another Polymorph there. Genericz still sitting at 60%. I don't think they're in that scary of a position. Dannycarry going to be cheaped up. Could he possibly be the target here? Genericz is going to get howled from Pugmag, which is a really good howl, into a bash coming from Pinkrangerz there. Dannycarry is at a healthy state here. I don't think they have to worry about much damage coming out, but we are 4% of the dampening, and the further into dampening we get, the scarier it can be for this RMD.
Yeah, I think the RLD definitely has an advantage going into dampening, but yeah, we shall see. Right now, it looks like the RMD is playing pretty passive, trying to get something on. Nessper caught into that full clone. Looks like they're probably going to try to get some CC on a Pinkrangerz. He is caught into that deep no ring coming out. I think it might be a little bit too late. Excellent job by Dannycarry getting the clone. And Nessper taking so much damage. Ironbark is forced on him. The NS does come out by Pinkrangerz, so forcing a lot of cooldowns on a Nessper there. Beautifully done with the Cyclone on Dannycarry. Pinkrangerz, you know, has no trinket, no NS. Anymore, so it could be very scary for this RLD coming up.
Yeah, the Ironbark is going to sit on Genericz, and it's going to be coming up here, or coming off of him here very soon. Nessper is going to be put cycloned up, Pugman in a kidney, and Pinkrangerz in a deep. Are they going to be able to follow it up with a polymorph? It looks like they're going to be able to. It looks like it's just a 1v3 here. Pugman taking quite a bit of damage. Could he possibly go down here? Do they have enough CC to get onto Pinkrangerz? I don't think so. Generic's going to be held up, and the heals are going to come out from Pugman. Dark Soul also is going to be popped, trying to get out as much of damage, but he's going to be corroded up on that from Genericz. Really good job on Genericz. Genericz is going to pop that blind onto Pinkrangerz. It looks like he's just going to sit the whole thing. Not going to be able to get a polymorph or a sap out of that since it DRs with poly. Pugman is actually sitting at 60%. The full cheap is going to come out onto Pugman. It looks like he could possibly go down here. This scary position. He's out of LOS from his healer. Pinkrangerz is going to be put into that full polymorph in the bash onto Nessper into a Cyclone. Everybody's just CC'd here. Another Cyclone actually landing. Pugman could possibly go down here. Are they going to be able to get another Cyclone out on them? Pugman could possibly go down. He's at 5%. He actually gets healed to 20%. Pinkrangerz is sitting in that Cyclone. I'm not exactly sure what that heal came from. The Ironbark landing out of Pugman. That was a really close kill.
He is caught into a clone. 1%. Beautiful clone by Dannycarry. Pugman is just stuck into the smoke bomb, into a kidney. He is not going to be getting any heals out of that. Pinkrangerz caught into the deep. Pugman's still in a lot of trouble here. He does have full hots. Might be able to just port away. Should be okay for now. It doesn't look like it's going to be too much more CC coming into Pinkrangerz, but they forced a lot on Pugman right there. Beautifully done by them. That was a good setup.
That was definitely a very good setup. It got so low there, but Pinkrangerz was able to run away from some of that CC and get some heals out onto Pugman. Pugman going to be put into that full kidney. It looks like some of the damage is going to come out, but he is just going to choose to trinket that. The double howl and the bash onto team DBBDBK. Dannycarry is going to be feared up by Pugman there, and so it looks like they're just trying to play passive, trying to peel as much as possible. The ring might come out and land onto Pinkrangerz, but it does not look like it's going to be able to. Unfortunately, they weren't able to follow anything up. The full kidney is going to come out of Pugman. This could possibly be it. The full Cyclone on Pinkrangerz is going to choose to trinket that. Ironbark coming out, but I don't think it's going to be enough. 1%, and it looks like Pugman is just going to go down there, but Genericz is going to be put in that full kidney. Ironbark coming out. Are they going to try to fight this one out? Does not look like it. Nessper is going to be polymorphed up, and we know how this one's going to end, and that's going to be another win for this RMD.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah. That training the Warlock like that just really shuts down their offensive pressure. I mean, Nesper's trying desperately to make something happen on Danny, but he's just standing out of line of sight, and this Warlock is trying to get dots on him, and every time he does, Danny just dispels it and hides, So yeah, they're not able to actually get that much pressure, and that was well done by the RMD. And I mean, I was wrong. Looks like Warlocks can die. Yeah. Especially in this matchup.
So that's really impressive on both ends, man. Like specifically Pugman's like howls, like pulling him back, and I liked his port placement as he like ported away and then ported back to try to juke him out. But I felt like almost like the dampening, considering they're controlling the lock so much, actually kind of worked in the RMD's favor. Like even when Pinkrangerz was out of all the CC, he had trouble picking him up. You know what I mean? That's why sometimes it's hard to say. I mean, in theory, the Warlock has an advantage in dampening, but if he's just being shut down, kicked and kidneyed and just forced to play so defensively that, like you said,
dampening actually ended up working for the RMD over the RLD.
Speaking of dampening being an advantage for like the composition that sets up the kill, shout out to Venruki and the Three Amigos in Armageddon. Going up against LSD. What was it, like 30% dampening? Oh my gosh, that was an amazing game.
Dude, BlizzCon, wasn't it like 50% dampening or something? Like
yeah,
crazy?
It was nuts. Somehow you
sad
are
time.
1% health in, but not reminiscing too much, but I do want to